What's up guys, Juan here from Android Authority coming at you from Beijing, China, and I'm here for the LeEco event. You might be more familiar with this company by the former name of LeTV, and if you followed our CES coverage back in January, you may remember that we covered one of their flagship devices. The eco in LeEco stands for ecosystem, and that's exactly what they're trying to build here with their latest line of products. They did announce several new Android smartphones, which we'll get into in a second, but they also announced a bunch of other cool stuff as well, like a new TV, a new VR headset, and even a freaking autonomous driving car. With this being an ecosystem, all of these new products are vertically integrated with one another through LeEco's ecosystem UI. Basically what this means is you'll get access to all of their services like the cloud, sports, movies, or original content across all devices, and even do things like 9 simultaneous streams on a single device, or call upon your car just by speaking to your smartphone. Now, one thing to keep in mind is a lot of these services are for China, so if and when LeEco decides to bring this to the US, there most likely will be a lot of changes that would have to take place in order to make it all work. As far as the phones go, they announced 3 new smartphones. There was the Le2, the Le2 Pro, and the Le Max 2. The names are a little confusing, but basically all you need to know is the Le2 is the most standard or basic model. The 2 Pro is practically the same phone as the 2 on the outside, but it's got slightly better specs like a higher resolution camera, faster processor, and more RAM. Then you have the granddaddy of them all with the Le Max 2, and if you want the latest and greatest specs, this is the one you're going to want to get. Even though the Le2 is the standard model out of the bunch, it still packs some pretty nice specs. It's got a 5.5-inch 1080p IPS LCD display, the MediaTek Helio X20 processor, 3 gigs of RAM, a 16 megapixel camera on the rear, an 8 megapixel camera on the front for selfies, a 3000 milliamp hour battery, a built-in fingerprint sensor, and it's all wrapped up in a very sleek and premium feeling metal body. If you want to step things up a notch, the Le2 Pro will give you the same form factor and design, but with a higher resolution 21 megapixel camera, 4 gigs of RAM, and a slightly faster processor with the Helio X25. The Le Max 2 is pretty much going to be the phone that gives other flagships a run for their money, and it's the only one that's confirmed for a US launch so far, although we still don't know exactly when. It's packing a slightly larger 5.7-inch display, and it's also higher resolution at Quad HD instead of 1080p like on the Le2. The rear camera is 21 megapixels with an 8 megapixel camera on the front, a 3000 milliamp hour battery, and it also has the same fingerprint sensor as the other 2 devices. Inside, it's got a much more powerful processor with the Snapdragon 820, which puts it on par with phones like the S7 and G5, but LeEco unveiled that there will be a 64 gig version of this phone that is going to come with a whopping 6 gigs of RAM, which is pretty insane. They're all Android 6.0 Marshmallow powered smartphones, but like I mentioned earlier, these phones are utilizing LeEco's ecosystem UI, which brings a pretty different experience from your typical Android smartphone, but the ecosystem UI is also what allows all of these devices to seamlessly integrate with one another and fully take advantage of LeEco's services. One thing you may or may not have noticed with these devices by now is that none of them feature a headphone jack.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Don't freak out though, you can still get audio through the USB Type-C port with your favorite headphones, but you have to use the adapter, which does come included with the phone itself. But what do you guys think about these new smartphones or other products that LeEco announced, like the VR headset or the autonomous car? Let us know down in the comments below, and if you want to know more about these devices, including pricing and availability and all that other good stuff, make sure to check out the website at androidauthority.com, where we can keep you as up to date as possible because we are your source for all things Android.